April 19, 2015 from Phillips Arena in Atlanta, Georgia. It was Game 1 from the 2015 NBA Playoffs first round matchup between the Brooklyn Nets and the Atlanta Hawks. And what a game this was. The Hawks put the fun in fundamentals. And in the first quarter, it was all Atlanta. They took a 12-point lead into the second quarter. They were up 32-20 after one quarter of play. Brooklyn tried to chip away at that lead, and they would actually get to within 7 points with a minute and a half left before halftime. But then DeMarre Carroll got an and one, and he pushed the lead for the Hawks back to double digits as they were up by 10 at the half with the score 55-45. So then in the third quarter, it was more Atlanta. The Nets were trying to stick with them, but the Hawks would still remain up by double digits as they were up by 12 going into the fourth with the score 74-62. And they had actually pushed their lead to as many as 16. And so they were just dominating the Nets pretty much, but the Nets just wouldn't go away. They ended up going on an 11-2 run, and that was capped off by a layup from Brook Lopez, and it was now a 5-point game with about 4 minutes left to play. So they came all the way back to make it 86-81, but every time they got close, the Hawks had a response. Jeff Teague hit a J. Then after a couple free throws from Joe Johnson, Kyle Korver nails a huge three-pointer as he was lights out from three-point land in this game. As Kyle Korver actually in the game, he was shooting, he had nailed 5 of 11, and at that point it was 5 of 10 three-pointers. And so that made it 91-83. DeMarre Carroll went to the line. He pushed it back to a 10-point lead by hitting both free throws. So that was the real story in this game, is the excellent free throw shooting by the Atlanta Hawks. But the Nets kept trying to get back in it here at the end. Thaddues Young got a J. Brook Lopez hit a couple of free throws. That made it a 6-point game. And then Thaddues Young with another J. Now it was a 4-point game with a minute and a half left at 93-89. Then Jeff Teague once again responds with a J, and that pushed it back to 6 at 95-89. And then moments later, he would end up getting fouled after Millsap got a defensive board. He hit both free throws as he was clutch all game long from the free throw line, as the Hawks only missed one free throw in the entire game. And so then after Deron Williams hit a long deuce, actually he ended up getting a call for 3 on that one, so he hit a long three-pointer, was right there on the line. But then Teague ended up going back to the free throw line. He had a couple more free throws that pushed it back to a 7-point lead, and that would remain the final score at 99-92. As the Hawks hold on to win this one, which they were in complete control for the whole game. The Nets made it interesting at the end. They had a chance to snatch the win away from them, but the Hawks, they just stayed focused, and their fundamentals paid off as they were just lights out from the free throw line. They hit 21 of 22 free throws in this game for a 95.5 free throw percentage versus just 68.2 for the Nets. Like I said, that was a big difference in this game as both teams got to the line 22 times. But the Hawks took full advantage as they only missed one shot from the free throw line, whereas the Nets missed 7 shots from the free throw line. Also from three-point land, the Hawks had twice as many three-pointers that they hit as they hit 10 three-point shots in this game. As I said earlier, Kyle Korver 5 for 11 from three-point land. They were 33.3% from beyond the arch, and the Nets just 25%, hitting 5 of 20. Even though the Nets did out-rebound the Hawks, like I said, the excellent shooting by the Hawks from three-point land and from the free throw line is what got them the victory in this game. And if we look at the stat lines, 4 of the 5 starters for the Hawks scored in double digits. Al Horford with the double-double, and also Schroder coming off the bench for double digits as well. So they got a big performance from their bench. They scored 28 points in this game. And the Nets also got a big performance off the bench from Jarrett Jack. He put up 13 points off the bench. And they had a pair of double-doubles For the Nets, as Brook Lopez had a double-double and Thaddues Young had a double-double, as they also had 4 out of 5 starters scoring double digits. Well, let's look at the Hawks numbers, though. The leading scorer in this game, Kyle Korver, 21 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 1 block. As I said here now for the 3rd time, right? His 3-pointers, let's say 3 times. He was 5 for 11 from 3-point land. And then Jeff Teague, 17 points, 3 assists, 1 steal. DeMarre Carroll, 17 points, 8 boards, 3 assists, just 2 boards shy of another double-double. And Al Horford, I said he had the double-double with 10 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists, and a block. And Paul Millsap had 6 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, and a block to round out the starting 5. And set off the bench, Dennis Schroder, 13 points, 2 assists, 1 steal. Pero Antic actually had 8 points, 3 rebounds, and 1 assist off the bench as well. Mike Scott, 5 points off the bench. And Shelvin Mack had 2 points off the bench as well. And for the Nets, Joe Johnson and Brook Lopez both put up 17 points. Lopez had 14 rebounds and 2 steals. Johnson had 6 rebounds and 6 assists and 2 steals. Thaddues Young, 15 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists, and a steal. And Deron Williams, 13 points, 4 boards, and 2 assists. And I said Jarrett Jack, 13 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal. So just an exciting game. It was interesting. The Hawks, like I said, they were in control really for the most part, but Brooklyn kept fighting back, trying to get close, but they were never able to take the lead. They, of course, in the opening moments of this game, Brooklyn actually jumped out to lead 2-0. But I believe that was the only time they ever had the lead, and they never had the lead after that. After that first shot by Joe Johnson, the Hawks kept the lead for the remainder of the game. Like I said, they took the lead in the first minute of the game, and so they led for 59 minutes, or no, 47 minutes as it were. I think it's 48 minutes in the game, not the 60. But all right, so the final score in Atlanta is the Hawks take the 1-0 lead in the series. Atlanta 99, Brooklyn 92.